Hello, we're Lives channel. Today we will learn about the shocking developments unfolding in Salem on Thursday, October 2nd, as Brady Black finds himself drowning in confusion over a paternity mystery that refuses to make sense, while Maggie Kiriakis races against time to reach the hospital where her beloved granddaughter Holly Jonas recovers from a terrifying brush with death, and Sophia Choi discovers that her carefully constructed web of lies is beginning to unravel at the seams. The episode opens with a heartbreaking scene as Tate Black sits down with his father Brady, desperately needing to unburden his soul about the catastrophic state of his relationship with Holly Jonas. Despite Tate's relentless efforts to bridge the growing chasm between them, Holly continues to push him further and further away, building walls that seem impossible to climb. The young man has tried everything within his power to salvage what they once had, to remind Holly of the connection they shared before Sophia's pregnancy bombshell detonated in their lives like an emotional nuclear weapon. Tate confesses to Brady that every attempt he makes to reach out to Holly is met with cold rejection. Every text message goes unanswered, every phone call ignored, and the few times they do speak, Holly's words cut through him like shards of glass. The pain etched across Tate's face as he opens up to his father reveals just how deeply this situation has wounded him, and Brady can see his son struggling to comprehend why the girl he loves has completely shut him out of her heart. What Tate doesn't fully understand yet is that Holly's anger and hurt run so deep that she cannot see past her own emotional devastation to recognize that Tate might be just as much a victim in Sophia's scheme as she is. Meanwhile, at Salem University Hospital, Maggie Kiriakis bursts through the doors with urgency written all over her face, her heart pounding with a mixture of relief and fury as she makes her way to Holly's bedside. The moment Maggie wraps her arms around her granddaughter, pulling Holly into a tight embrace, the tension that has been coiled in her chest since she received the terrifying phone call about the fire finally begins to release. But Maggie's relief at finding Holly alive and relatively unharmed quickly transforms into stern disapproval as the full story of what happened begins to emerge. Maggie cannot hide her disappointment and anger when she learns that Holly had consumed so much alcohol that she passed out completely, becoming dead weight in her dorm room, utterly unconscious and vulnerable when flames began to consume her living space. The fact that Holly was so intoxicated that she couldn't wake herself up, couldn't smell the smoke, couldn't hear the fire alarm, and couldn't save herself from a deadly fire fills Maggie with a cold dread about what could have happened if Brady hadn't been there to play the hero. Maggie launches into a pointed interrogation, demanding answers about Holly's reckless behavior, questioning what possessed her granddaughter to drink herself into such a dangerous state, and expressing her profound concern about the path Holly seems to be careening down. As Maggie delivers her tough love message, mixing scolding with genuine care and worry, she offers Holly some hard-earned wisdom from her own experiences, hoping that her words will penetrate the fog of Holly's teenage angst and poor decision-making. What neither Maggie nor Holly fully comprehends yet is the sinister truth lurking beneath the surface of this entire nightmare scenario. Days of Our Lives fans are privy to information that these characters don't have: the devastating reality that Sophia Choi deliberately drugged Holly's drink, turning what might have been a manageable situation into a life-threatening catastrophe. Sophia's calculated manipulation set this entire horror show in motion, and Holly's near-death experience is a direct result of Sophia's jealous scheming and ruthless determination to eliminate Holly as competition for Tate's affections. The irony cuts deep. Maggie believes she's lecturing Holly about the dangers of irresponsible drinking and making poor choices, when in reality, Holly was victimized by someone she trusted, someone who saw her as nothing more than an obstacle to be removed. Maggie expresses gratitude that Brady arrived at exactly the right moment to rescue Holly from the flames, praising his heroic actions and quick thinking, completely unaware that the entire situation was orchestrated by a conniving teenage girl whose desperation has driven her to increasingly dangerous acts. In another corner of Salem, Chanel Dupree DiMera remains trapped in a state of profound grief and devastation, her dreams of motherhood lying in ruins around her like shattered glass. The loss of baby Tesoro has carved a hole in Chanel's heart that feels impossibly vast, an emptiness that threatens to swallow her whole. She and Johnny had invested so much hope, so much love, so much of their future into the prospect of adopting that precious child, and now it has all been ripped away in the cruelest fashion imaginable. Chanel continues to direct the full force of her anger and blame toward Johnny DiMera, convinced that his alleged inappropriate behavior with the student destroyed their chances at adoption. Despite Johnny's desperate, repeated pleas for Chanel to believe that he was framed, that he never sent or received any scandalous photos, that someone deliberately sabotaged their adoption to hurt them, Chanel cannot hear him through the deafening roar of her pain. Every time Johnny tries to explain, tries to defend himself, tries to make her see reason, Chanel's grief transforms his words into empty noise. She is drowning in loss, suffocating under the weight of a dream deferred. And she needs someone to blame, someone to hold responsible for this devastating turn of events. Johnny, however, refuses to accept defeat or allow this injustice to stand unchallenged. His determination to prove his innocence burns bright and fierce, fueling his resolve to uncover the truth and expose whoever orchestrated this cruel frame job. As the upcoming episodes unfold, Johnny will finally take decisive action by confronting Holly directly about the scandalous photograph that allegedly came from her phone. This confrontation promises to be a pivotal moment because Holly will look at Johnny with genuine confusion and shock, having absolutely no idea what he's talking about when he mentions the inappropriate image. Holly will truthfully tell Johnny that she never sent any such photo, that she knows nothing about it, and the timeline of events will suddenly click into sharp focus for both of them. The crucial detail that will emerge is that at the exact time that scandalous photo was sent to the social worker from Holly's phone, Holly was being pulled from her smoke-filled dorm room by Brady, unconscious and barely breathing, being loaded into an ambulance for emergency transport to the hospital. Holly was literally fighting for her life, completely incapacitated by smoke inhalation and the drug Sophia had slipped into her drink, making it physically impossible for her to have sent that photo. This revelation will be the first crack in Sophia's elaborate facade, the first thread that, when pulled, will begin to unravel the entire tapestry of lies she has woven. Speaking of Sophia Choi, the young woman is discovering that maintaining multiple deceptions simultaneously, while juggling the consequences of her increasingly reckless actions, is far more difficult than she anticipated. The timing of various events is beginning to raise red flags, creating suspicions and questions that Sophia never planned for, obstacles that threaten to expose her schemes to the harsh light of truth. As the walls close in around her, Sophia experiences waves of panic that threaten to overwhelm her carefully maintained composure. She can feel the ground shifting beneath her feet, sense that her control over the situation is slipping through her fingers like sand, and the fear of discovery sends her heart racing and her mind spiraling into worst-case scenarios. When Tate spots Sophia doing something suspicious, something she definitely shouldn't be doing, her panic reaches fever pitch, forcing her to think on her feet and concoct yet another lie to cover her tracks. Sophia has become an expert at quick cover-ups, at manufacturing plausible explanations on the spot, at redirecting attention away from her guilty actions. But each new lie requires another lie to support it, building a house of cards that grows more precarious with every passing day. Despite the mounting pressure and the increasing likelihood of exposure, Days of Our Lives spoilers indicate that Sophia will continue to make bold, audacious moves to protect her secrets and maintain her deceptions, even going so far as to lie directly to Tate's face while looking him in the eyes, gambling that her acting skills and his trust in her will prevent him from seeing through her performance. Meanwhile, Brady Black finds himself grappling with a paternity puzzle that defies all logic and shatters the confidence he felt just hours earlier. When Kayla Johnson delivers the DNA test results confirming that baby Tesoro is definitively not a genetic match for Tate, Brady's entire understanding of the situation collapses. The news stuns him, leaving him reeling in confusion and disbelief. Brady had been so certain, so convinced that he had finally solved the mystery of where Tate and Sophia's baby went, that the infant left at the firehouse was the child Sophia had given birth to and then abandoned. His theory made perfect sense. Sophia told Tate she was pregnant with his baby, then the baby mysteriously disappeared, and an Asian infant appears at the firehouse. The only Asian baby connected to the only Asian family in Salem. The pieces seemed to fit together perfectly, creating a clear picture of what must have happened. But now, with Kayla's DNA results proving that Tesoro and Tate share no biological connection, Brady feels like he's been thrown back to square one, forced to start the investigation over from scratch. Brady asks Kayla multiple times if she's absolutely certain about the test results, if there could have been any mistake or contamination, but Kayla firmly assures him that the test was conclusive, leaving no room for doubt or alternative interpretation. This shocking DNA revelation leaves only two possible explanations for the negative paternity results, and both scenarios raise disturbing questions about what really happened. The first possibility is that Melinda Trask, who has been deeply involved in the situation surrounding baby Tesoro, somehow got wind of Brady's secret DNA test and took steps to manipulate or alter the results to protect certain interests or advance her own agenda. Given Melinda's history of ethical flexibility and her willingness to bend rules when it suits her purposes, this theory isn't completely far-fetched, though it would require significant resources and risk on her part to pull off such a scheme. However, the second and far more likely possibility is the one that carries the most explosive implications. Tate Black was never the biological father of Sophia's baby in the first place. This theory suggests that Sophia has been lying about paternity from the very beginning, that she deliberately misled Tate into believing he was the father when she knew full well that someone else had actually gotten her pregnant. If this is true, it means Sophia's deception runs even deeper than anyone realized, that her manipulation of Tate's emotions and sense of responsibility was built on a foundation of lies from day one. All the evidence and circumstances point toward Aaron Green as the most likely candidate to be Tesoro's biological father. Aaron, Tate's roommate at Salem University, has been present throughout this entire saga, watching from the sidelines as the drama unfolded, but viewers and characters alike may have overlooked his potential connection to the baby. Days of Our Lives spoilers strongly hint that a paternity bombshell involving Aaron is brewing on the horizon, suggesting that Sophia may have been intimate with Aaron around the same time she was with Tate, or that Aaron was actually the only father all along and Sophia chose to pin the pregnancy on Tate for reasons known only to her. Perhaps Sophia believed Tate would be a better long-term prospect, more likely to commit to a relationship with her if he thought they shared a child. Or perhaps Aaron refused to accept responsibility, forcing Sophia to turn to Tate as a more willing target for her manipulation. Whatever the truth turns out to be, the revelation that Tate is not Tesoro's father will send shockwaves through Salem, forcing everyone to reevaluate everything they thought they knew about Sophia's pregnancy, her motivations, and the elaborate web of lies she has constructed. As Thursday's episode draws to a close, viewers will be left with multiple storylines teetering on the edge of major revelations. Johnny's determination to prove his innocence will lead him closer to the truth about who really sent that photo from Holly's phone. Sophia's panic will intensify as more people begin asking questions and noticing inconsistencies in her story. Chanel's grief will continue to drive a wedge between her and Johnny, even as the evidence of his innocence mounts. Maggie's tough love conversation with Holly will hopefully plant seeds of wisdom that will help Holly make better choices going forward. Tate's confession to Brady about his relationship struggles will strengthen the bond between father and son, even as Brady wrestles with the confusing DNA results that refuse to make sense. And somewhere in the background, baby Tesoro remains at the center of multiple mysteries, an innocent child whose true parentage holds the key to unraveling Sophia's entire scheme. The upcoming episodes promise explosive confrontations, tearful revelations, and the slow but inevitable collapse of Sophia's house of lies as the truth fights its way to the surface. Salem is about to be rocked by scandals that will reshape relationships, destroy trust, and force multiple characters to confront painful truths they've been avoiding.